Hello everyone, this is Optimus Prime, and it's been a little over 5 years since my very first review, which I don't necessarily count on this channel because I don't want to be reminded of it, but because it's been so long, I figured I want to update it, and what better way to do so than to take a look at this year's Missing Link Optimus Prime. This was a figure I never really planned on getting since it was revealed, and it was more so due to the price. I thought $120 was a bit egregious, but it wasn't until TFCon back in March that I saw this thing and figured I'd bite the bullet, and honestly, I don't regret that decision at all whatsoever. This thing is awesome. Also, I figured since the new Transformers Legacy G1 Universe Optimus Prime was revealed, I'd take a look at this before I get my hands on that one. Now, I will be honest, this figure isn't perfect. There are a few things that just don't want to work the way they should, and certain things that were changed from the original version, either for better or for worse, but overall, besides that, which I will get into later, the look of this guy is perfection. It's just your classic G1 Optimus Prime, and you gotta love it. Now, there are two versions of the Missing Link Optimus Prime. This is the classic toy version, and there's also the animation version, which I did not pick up. I just prefer having a trailer. And speaking of trailers, I absolutely love the way this looks. Now, I do own the knockoff trailer, and I won't be doing a comparison with that as I have it in a box right now on my wall, which I don't want to get down. The reason for that is because it was signed by Peter Cullen, so I just want to keep it in the box. But this one definitely feels a lot more hefty, and there is not much difference between this one and the original. There are differences on the inside, however, when it comes to this one little part, which I will get into in a second. Opening up the trailer, you'll see that I did not apply any of the stickers because the presentation of the inside of the trailer is still the same as it was on the original toy. We get the same roller, except silver this time, which there was a silver version on one of the original copies, but it would have been nice to have that blue one for a little bit more accuracy, but it's not a huge deal. As you'll notice, there is an area that is different on roller here, and it's this little section that rotates around and becomes this red light on the top, which the original toy never had. So this is a really cool inclusion. He, of course, does roll, hence the name. We also get the classic gas pump, which is on this malleable wire, and you can port that on top of Roller and have him gas up Optimus Prime, or any of the other Autobots. We also have these little command areas right here that can seat miniature Diaclone figures, however, I don't have any of those to show off, unfortunately. And of course, we have the infamous anti-aircraft gun, and the thing about this that's different is that the original toy, there was a spring-loaded feature right underneath this segment that could launch Roller off of the repair bay. As you can see, they even kept the little lever that would activate this feature. Unfortunately, that's just for show, as they got rid of this feature entirely. And that's because now the anti-aircraft gun is completely removable. While it does the same things as the original anti-aircraft gun, it now has the ability to roll, which is a neat feature, but I don't know if it was worth getting rid of the spring-loaded gimmick. Then again, a small part of me is fine with this because that gimmick may have the possibility of breaking over time, and I definitely don't want anything on this set to break. Something they did keep, however, are the launching missiles, in which you get 4 of these, but I'm only utilizing the 2. They launch decently far, but it's nothing really to write home about. You have 3 ports on the base, which can be utilized by the gas pump or the ion cannon. One thing that is unfortunate is that you can store the ion cannon at this top port, however, due to the positioning and molding, it runs into the anti-aircraft gun just a tiny bit and causes this bump in the trailer when closed up, so I recommend porting it on top of Roller as storage. As for other features on the trailer, there are these 2 holes, one in the front and one on the top, and this is so you can poke the anti-aircraft gun out of one of these ports.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. This isn't a real motor car.
Now, just to compare the Ion Blaster that comes with the Missing Link to the one from the 2018 reissue, this is a modified version of the bloated rifle, whereas instead of the handle being on the magazine, it's actually where the handle is supposed to be, but they did end up keeping the magazine port anyways, which is mostly for storage purposes. But as you can see, the rifles are very similar, it's just that one little change. Oh, I completely forgot to write and record this segment, but the other accessory he comes with is his Energon axe. I will get into this later in robot mode, but just to kind of look at all the details, this thing looks really cool. You know, you got your basic transparent orange plastic. You got this part right here, which just untabs from this little tab right here, this little port there. That just goes into the hand, but yeah, this part looks really nice. I'm really glad that they included this, because yeah, most of the time the only way you'd be able to get this is either a special edition release or third-party options, so I'm glad that we actually finally get a proper Energon axe. And now finally for the main event, here is Optimus Prime in his truck mode, and he looks amazing. It's just your basic G1 Optimus, but he has a few changes here and there. Just to compare, here he is with the 2018 reissue figure, and as you can see right off the bat, There's already a few differences. The first being that there aren't these big gaping holes in the headlights, mainly due to the fact that they phased out the removable fist aspect, as well as the holes in the bumper. They filled in those as well. Another difference you'll notice is that the missing link is actually more color accurate to the original toy than the 2018 reissue is, as the red on this figure is much brighter than it is on Missing Link. And of course, I should mention that the trailer can fit on top of the reissue Optimus. But looking at the finer details of Prime, we of course have the chrome detailing on the bumper, grille, headlights, smokestacks, gas tanks, and wheel wells. We also, of course, have the silver stripe going across the side, which is painted. We have more molded details on the front of the vehicle, like rivets and windshield wipers, and we get more of that riveting detail on the sides of the truck, as well as more panel lining detail. Takara did, of course, keep the die cast for the feet and the windshield area, which is always nice. And of course, we have the rubber tires plus 2 Autobot symbols on the sides, as well as the rub symbol on the top. But I feel like I've talked about the truck mode as much as I wanted to, so let us get down to the transformation. And here we have Missing Link Optimus in his robot mode, and you may have noticed that I took extra care when transforming this guy. That's mainly due to the new engineering elements that make him feel a little bit more fragile when it comes to converting from truck to robot and vice versa. But what we're left with is a very nice and very classic looking Optimus Prime robot mode, and I love it. We get some nice silver paint on the face as well as the classic yellow eyes. All of that is on top of a very nice looking dark blue, and we also get more of that blue on the hands, legs, and feet. Something that's really cool that I should mention is that there were no stickers required for putting on this figure, as all the details that the stickers were meant for adding onto the original toy were all painted, that being on the forearms, knees, and feet. And they did an outstanding job with this. One added feature that I absolutely love is the inclusion of the added matrix chamber, which helps to fill in the hole in the back, as well as the matrix of leadership itself. The chamber is chrome and has lots of nice detailing and is also removable, and the matrix itself is painted in a very nice shiny gold with a blue painted gem in the middle, and is also removable. And because of his opening hands, he is capable of lighting our darkest hour. And now that I've spoiled a little bit of the articulation, let's move on to that part of the video. Prime's posability is unironically some of the best posability I've seen on a Transformers figure, like just in general. Which is just kind of funny when you think about it, because, you know, the G1 toys were some of the most, like, bare bones, barely articulated figures that you could find. But, you know, with the amount of stuff they've, you know, put into this, it's ridiculous. With the head, now this is the only part where I wish we got a little bit more. The head is only on a rotator joint. It only swivels. It doesn't look up or down. Technically, it can look up, but that's just... First off, that's part of the transformation. Second off, that looks terrible. So yeah, he can't really look up, unfortunately, but, you know, he can look all the way around. Arms, of course, can rotate all the way around like so. We do have backward movement, mainly due to the transformation. And then this is something that's really cool. So we got a joint up here that goes all the way like that. And then we got another joint right here, which can make the shoulder go all the way, if I angle that right, all the way up. Like that, which is insane. So that's really cool. So there's that. Of course, rotate all the way around. We also get swivel at the elbow / bicep. Yeah, we get a ratcheted bend at the elbow, which is very nice. Very nice ratchet, which is always appreciated. Hand can go in, more so for transformation, rotate all the way around, and also move out at the fingers that much, which is really, really cool. Now, this is another part where they really didn't have to go this hard with the articulation, but now it is a little bit stiff, but you can have them do an ab crunch, which is so cool. It looks a little weird, of course, because of all the chonkiness, but it's such a cool addition that they have that. Another thing that they didn't even have to include was the fact that we do have a slight waist swivel. Wish it could go a little bit more, but, you know, mainly due to just again, the chonkiness of everything, yeah, that's about as much as you're going to get it to go. Even when moving, you know, the side skirt wheel parts out, you can't really get much. That's another point of articulation right there too. But yeah, so even still, you know, the fact that we got some form of a waist swivel is actually really nice. Legs can kick forward about that far, so not too much, but still pretty far nonetheless. Of course, they can go back all the way. Be careful of this little part right here. I do have a fear that this little nub right here is going to cause paint chipping in the future, so yeah, definitely be careful. So have the leg, you know, outward just a little bit when moving it out, but of course it can go back all the way due to transformation. So there is that. We of course also have, if I move the side skirts out of the way, legs can rotate about, they can rotate a little farther. It's just that is a very stiff joint and I don't want to risk breakage, but it can go out pretty far, hopefully on other copies. We do have a swivel at the thigh, a very nice bend at the knee, which goes way back, like way farther than 90 degrees. And it also has an extra joint, so it can go forward a little bit, so you can break his knees a little bit. We do have a ankle pivot, which is very nice. It can go all the way around, so that's very cool. Of course, it can go down due to transformation, but not just that. There is a extra joint back here, so this little part right here you can see is separated. That's because you can get the ankle to go forward about that far. So yeah, articulation on this guy goes crazy. They definitely included a lot more than they needed to, and I love that. I think the fact that they went all out for this figure when it comes to the articulation is super cool. So yeah, definitely really good when it comes to posability, and feels really good when articulating. So yeah, that is very nice. All of the articulation he has allows him to pull off lots of amazing poses, and somehow a lot more than most Optimus Prime figures I own, which is kind of funny. And just to compare them in robot mode, here he is next to the 2018 reissue Optimus, and you can see that there are a lot of similarities, but also a few differences. For other size comparisons, here he is next to the G1 2018 Bumblebee, Earthrise Optimus Prime, Earthrise Megatron from the Nemesis Bridge 3-pack, and Rise of the Beasts Optimus Prime. But overall, I absolutely love this figure. It's got everything you want in an Optimus Prime toy, and it's the original G1 Optimus at the same time. I'm really happy that I have the opportunity to own this figure, especially having owned multiple variations of the original mold. This is definitely up there with my favorite Optimus Prime toys that I own, and I highly recommend getting this if you're willing to pay that price. But anyways, guys, that is about it for this review. I hope you all enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.